if you guys like this video, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and if you guys are interested in a personal session, check out my website, readingswithbreanne.com. Let's dive into the topic for today. Hello, beautiful souls. I hope you guys are doing phenomenal as always. Thank you guys for joining me on another tarot reading. Now, I recently just did a tarot card pull on these LA riots and all the chaos that is ensuing, and I wanted to do a reading on something today that is a little bit similar. I seen an article regarding this No Kings protest against Trump, where it has here apparently millions of people are expected to protest against Trump administration on Saturday. So this will be on the 14th, which is tomorrow, and I wanted to dive into this because the other night I had a dream, and I mean, this could be absolutely not related at all, but there was a very, let's say, graphic image of, let's say, a lot of violence happening. And I don't know if this is at all related, but I wanted to pull the cards and see, is there going to be an intensity of energies? Is there going to be violence? Is there going to be chaos? Because I was getting, a lot of tough energies coming out when I was pulling some cards on the last one too, and I was just as not as fair, you guys, but just being aware of your surroundings and where you are if you're in big public places. Over the next, I was getting, I think, 3 days, which led up to again the 14th. So here we are again. We're going to dive into the tarot and see what messages are coming out when it comes to this No Kings protest against Trump. But what is really interesting, you guys, on the image of the No Kings protest, I've got the mass protest. I'll put it on the front as my thumbnail. But they have Trump and they have a crown, but like a hat, and it's highlighted in white, and I really got a bit of a chuckle out of that because we've always talked so much about like the white hats and the white alliance, and he's got a white hat on, so I thought that was kind of interesting. But we're going to take a look because I think that there could be some information that can come out of that. So let's dive right in and see what messages are coming out for this mass protest. Now, I have my crystal ball here as well, so we'll see if any images kind of pop out as we're doing this reading. But, I mean, the media also loves to hype stuff up, you guys. So is this going to be as intense as the media is making it out to be? Interesting, the Mystic wanted to fly out. And, oh my goodness, you guys, I was seeing so many people too on TikTok and just on social media, even talking about how they've been approached to ask to be paid to be protesters and to throw bricks into windows and light pallets of fires, and it's just really interesting and very much in our face. So let's see what's behind this No Kings protest spirit. But I wanted to know too, because of the image I seen just did have a lot of blood, and I just wanted to see how intense is it going to be. Are there going to be catastrophes that kind of break out? So let's see what's going on with this No Kings movement. Can I get one more card, Spirit? We got the King that came out. The King for the No Kings movement. You know what I actually get though with that, you guys? Look at the back is the Sustainer. This isn't just about Trump, okay? I'm feeling like this is more also about dismantling that narrative where we need to have certain saviors or certain we can say masters that we really place on that pedestal, right? So there's definitely a deeper energy behind it from what it seems. So let's see, Spirit, what can you share with us when it comes to this No King movement mass protest? Millions of people expected to protest against Trump's administration. How bad is this gonna get? That's what I want to know. How bad is this gonna get, Spirit? Or is this just all a bunch of, again, more fear porn? The Hierophant. Oh, that's my good card. Oh, that's my, again, if we're talking about the white hats and white alliance, counter forces, those are definitely two of those cards. Nine of Swords. Oh, Five of Swords. Five of Swords is a little intense. And five. Five of Swords, Five of Pentacles, the Hierophant, 555. Lots of fives. Very interesting here. Okay, so let's dissect this. All right, so I turned off my, hopefully that's not too dark for you guys. I turned off my overhead light so it's not like glaring on the cards. But we'll have to see. I might have to turn the light back on to look into my crystal ball because it's a little dark on the one side. But what I can see, this is really interesting because look at this. We have that deep state energy here to the left, and then we have the white hats, the light alliance, the counter forces to the right. Okay, so I find that really interesting. Complete opposites here. And you guys, this is not just a political battle. This is a spiritual war here. And it's really showing, I get like this bigger picture. It's like I do see in the crystal ball some like fractures or cracks in the line that we're forming. And it's like, these fractures are the people not bowing down to certain elites. Okay, the Hierophant's all about that hierarchy, those bloodlines, and this is, I feel like, people really moving towards a decentralized motion. So I actually see this as being a really big pivotal point, which is why I wanted to look into it this as well. But when it comes to, let's say, the potential violence for these upcoming mass protests, I don't love that we have the Five of Swords in the outcome, because this is an indication of crime. This is an indication of quite a bit of conflict. Now, when it comes to, again, the energy of how difficult these protests are going to be, they're very organized from what I can see. It's interesting, the strength in that past. The Hierophant is all about a controlled, it's an organization, right? And I feel like it's not going to be as rebellious as it's appearing on maybe social media or the news channels. We have the Nine of Swords, which is a bit of that fear porn energy, or one of my cards for a really ramped up state of fear here. So the fact that we have the Temperance in the situation is really positive from what I can see. And again, I really do see, I gotta say, with that white hat, counter forces coming out, a lot of those cards are integrated in this reading, so that's kind of interesting. I mean, the Nine of Swords can also represent, though, a lot of like just collective anxiety. Things are at an emotional high right now, right? So it's, the protest is part of the purge of the pain, from what I can see as well. Okay, so it does show like things being really like pushed and amplified and worked up here. But the fact that the Temperance here, this is a moment of like also integration here, and the population being asked to kind of like alchemize, let's say, rage to wisdom, right? Or that truth into patience. It's a patience card, right? It's balancing, it's harmony. So I do think that there is, again, white hat or counter forces behind it with this card. Look at, we've got 1, 2, we've got 3 of those cards out there. So there's a lot in terms of that. But yeah, I see this as it does have an opportunity to really bring energies into harmony. But the only thing is the Five of Swords in the outcome does represent a bit of crime. I mean, so I do encourage you guys to be safe, especially if you're planning to be out in these areas of big protests, because I do think some people may get hurt, or there's gonna be damage, there's gonna be crime. It does look like that's the case, and it's probably best to stay home, the hermit, like stay in behind the scenes, right? Because it does show that risk there. Now, I really want to touch base on the fact that we have 5-5-5-2, because you look at the protest and that's that 50-51 movement. So that's a really big symbolism and synchronicity that came out. So again, it's really that idea where the nations, the people are coming together here. And it's not about needing some kind of hierarchy that we need to bow down to. It's really about coming together as a unified whole, coming together. Like, this is harmony, right? So really beautiful that those fives came out there. So I'm going to take a moment and I'm going to look into the crystal ball too and see if I can get any other messages here. So the first thing that's really coming out here is it's almost like I'm seeing an outline of the maps, right? It's like outline of the maps, and then there's hearts. But these hearts are popping up everywhere and they're sparking. They're just like bam. And they're big, beautiful hearts. And it's almost like a sense of, this is a symbolism. And it's showing that like people starting to, again, yes, wake up. But it's not like they're just going to wait for world to change. They are going to be the change, right? And that's a really beautiful energy coming out. So there is a lot here about people coming together, and you know, it may get a little intense over these next little while here, these rest of even 2025 and you know, into brushing ourselves up in 2026, but people are really coming together here and waking up. So I love that image that came out. So this is kind of neat too. Very similar symbolism, but I have like all these what looks like lanes, okay? I mean, that could represent actual lanes within traffic, but they are lanes and there's people like jammed up in these lanes. I actually get this to be more symbolism than actual street lanes, but in the middle there is this big black void, and it's almost like people in these lanes that are restricted. It's like they can't move in and out of the lanes. They're very much stuck exactly where they are. But as there's like, they are parting, and as they are parting, there's one on each side and this black void in the middle. There are people entering into this middle section, and they're able to breathe, they're able to move. So it's almost like, again, the parting of a fork in the road, or the parting of paths here. Oh my gosh, as I said that, this fork in the road appeared in the middle of the void. That is so cool. Interesting. Okay, so again, what I'm getting is this is also relating to this mystic and dissolving false constructs here, dissolving these false constructs with this Hierophant, because again, religions, all these things divide us. A lot of it's all about money, power, greed, separation. And guess what though? Guess what we have? We have unity here. So it's a really beautiful energy to see that. So now, before I wrap up here, I want to pull one more question, and I didn't touch base on it when I did my other LA riots one, and that's in regards to Trump invoking the 1807 law. And this really, on the one article that I'm looking at, it says Trump has threatened to evoke an 1807 law which could inflict catastrophe on citizens. So let's dive into the energy of like, will this actually happen? Is he going to invoke it? Was the Insurrection Act? Let's see what the cards have to say when it comes to this actually happening. All right, let's see what the cards have to say in terms of Trump invoking this Insurrection Act. What can you share? Is this something that will happen? The Crone. Oh. The Crone, we have the Mother, and we have the Cave. The prayer on the back, and the cave which fell on the ground. Let me see if I can get it. All right, so we've got the Cave, the Mother, and the Crone. What can you share, Spirit, when it comes to Trump invoking this act? Or will it lead, or will it get that far? Ace of Wands. The Hermit. Okay, so it looks like he's absolutely ready to do it if he feels like he has to. There's that past. Interesting. That was the future when we pulled that No Kings movement, and now it's the past. So from what I can see, so if we dissect this a little bit more, the Ace of Wands in Trump's energy is him absolutely talking about it, thinking about it. You know, it's not off the table. But when I look at the situation too, it looks like it will be withdrawn, or I don't see it moving forward with him invoking it. It might be close with this energy, but when we look at the outcome, see, it's kind of interesting too. We have the Hermit, we have the Cave, we have the Mother, we have the Queen, and we have that Crone energy too. So again, the Hermit with the Cave is like a double confirmation for me. I think he will withdraw it when it comes to, or not taking it to that next level. And that Crone is also another representation of that Mother. So it almost feels like more of it ends up as a psychological theater more than, you know, a takeover here. But for the most part, I think that things like calm down here, because we have, and with all those fives we were getting, you guys, yes, it may be very intense, but 5 is the number of change. So it's not something that is going to stick around for a long time. It's kind of shorter lived, right? The 5 is all about moving, right? It's consistently changing and moving. So the fact that we also have like the 4, which is a celebration, this is, you know, we've got Flag Day, we've got, I think, a bunch of things going on in DC with Trump for his birthday and Flag Day and whatnot. So it feels like there's actually a transition with this energy that moves into calmer waters here. Okay, that's kind of what I see here, because this is a de-escalation of people. We've got the past, right? The past, which is that chaos, the motions of, you know, aggression is in the past, and it comes like out into more of a calmer energy. So that's pretty positive there. So I'm going to say I don't see it happening. I do think it's something he has considered, and he is, again, of course, openly talking about it, but it doesn't look like that will happen from what I can see. You know what else I want to add, though, before we wrap up too, with the Crone and the Queen of Pentacles, this is a lot of like dark magic, okay? This is, you know, the elites using a lot of rituals and dark magics to, guess what, win at all costs. So there is that war that is happening. And, you know, look at this, the prayer, you guys. I encourage you guys all to, you know, tune into your heart during these times, because they are chaotic, and these dark energies are willing to do anything to win. This is winning at all costs, okay? So please do keep that in mind, you know, stay in the light, connect to your heart, right? Connect to your truths here. So it just feels like a big battle, and these dark, you know, this dark magic is really trying to be used right now too for a lot of chaos, okay? So that's what I have for you guys. So overall, it's like, yes, that fire may be lit with that Ace of Wands, but I don't see it consuming the people, okay? So much love to all you guys. Of course, stay safe over this weekend. It's going to be, I feel like, some intense energies, and that 5 of Swords does show a lot of aggression, a lot of crime. You know, it's not fun. So again, as always, stay safe, and I love you guys. And until next time, bye for now.